Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the one and only and amazing Anna Kelly. How you doing, Anna?
I'm doing great. Always good to be here with you.
Oh, absolutely. So, video number two, we talked about how you and I are doing deals in this crazy environment. Even though 87% of the people think it's a bad time to buy, you and I are dealing with motivated sellers. So, I thought what we should do in video number three is just full of value. Before we jump in, I want to remind folks my number one goal for 2023 is to send out 100 of these golden tickets. What is this, Anna? This is for somebody who watches one rental at a time and gets their first rental property.
Love
I've
it.
I've already sent out four. I'm trying to send out 100 in 13 months, December 1st to December 31st next year.
Awesome.
This one is for folks that get their second plus deal. I want to send out 1,000 of these. So that's 1,100 cards just for watching the channel. So what I want to do here, Anna, is give people 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. Just you and I free forming it. Do this now. Do the work in the winter when the market is slow. Get better. Get after it. So what do you think of this?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I want a golden ticket. I want a golden ticket now. But I've
Yeah, let's
already got a
go.
deal. But I'll take a black one, right?
There you go. There you
So
go.
I
Yeah,
think
you
it's
can get a
great.
black one.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And I love your heart to give back and to create impact. And that's what those cards are all about for you, knowing how many people are you impacting, how many
Exactly.
people are doing deals. And so I absolutely love it.
Yeah. So we're going to kind of focus one rental at a time. I have a course called How to Get Started One Rental at a Time. We're going to give you the first 3 or 4 steps right now. My step number one, and you've heard me say this phrase 1,000 times probably, is you have to have a buy box. And a buy
Yes.
box is a specific set of criteria, in my opinion, that you set up once. It has to generate a list for me between 20 and 40 active listings. And then for me, you set that and forget it, because what you're trying to do, step one for me, is you're trying to learn what the average return is of that buy box. And again, I really want people to hear this. A buy box is permission to focus and also tells you what not to look at. So many new investors on a here buy box, and they come to me and go, Michael, I got 3. I'm like, you're not listening. You get one. For 90 days, you get one, and you look at nothing else. What do you
Right.
think of step one?
Yes, I love that. I would add one thing. Make sure that your buy box is based on your financial goals, not other
Yes.
people,
Thank you.
right? So, for
Yes.
example, if you want growth and you don't care about cash flow, you're going to look at a certain type of deal. If you need cash flow, you're not going to look at developing multifamily that's going to take you 3 years to get your money, right? You're going to buy a single family house or a small multifamily property or something like that, vacation rental. But you've got to know what is your financial goal and then what kind of properties are out there that are going to allow me to meet that financial goal. And that becomes your buy box.
Perfect. Love that. So step number two is, and again, it's in the course, but we'll give it here free. You build an Excel spreadsheet. Excel's my thing. If you want to do it on paper, you probably could, but that'd be really messy. And you're just going to start tracking what's going on. In the beginning, you're adding rows, right? 1, 2, 3 Main Street, 4, 5, 6 yellow, whatever. And then what you do is you start filling it out. What is the expected rent? What are the costs? What are this? What are that? And then it's a very simple division for what I call yield. You can call cash on cash or return on capital, whatever you want to call that. But the deal is, then you look tomorrow and you note what changed. Then you look the next day and note what changed. Then I
Yes.
suggest you add a date column. It says on December 14th. Yeah, December 14th, this one went pending. Oh, on December 21st, it came back. Oh, this one had a price drop on December 14th. Just
Yes.
start learning the rhythm of the market. And ultimately, the whole goal of 60 to 90 days on it is very simple. What is an average deal in my market? For some of them, it's negative. Like if you're trying to learn San Diego, California, it could be a negative 3%. I'm not going to judge good or bad, but if you can articulate to me what an average deal is in your buy box, I want to shake your hand, because that's it. That's once you know that, that's where the power begins, in my opinion.
Absolutely, because you cannot make a good informed decision on whether a deal is a good deal unless you know what a good deal looks like, right? So,
Yeah.
so many people are like, okay, let me go look at a deal in Austin, Texas. Let me look at a deal in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Let me look at a
Yeah.
deal in Los Angeles, California. And if you're all over the place, then a deal in Pennsylvania is going to look amazing compared to California, but it might actually be a really crappy deal, right? And I cannot tell you how many investors, just like, happens from California to Utah, Nevada, Arizona. We have people come in from New Jersey and New York buying up crap properties in horrible neighborhoods with high crime because it looks like a good deal to them. And all of us local are going, that's horrible. Why would you buy that?
What are you doing? Yeah, don't let your local bias.
Yes, become a local market expert. Whatever your locale is that you're targeting, become a market expert in that area.
And the real goal of how to get started one rental at a time, what I see myself doing is teaching a skill. The best analogy I have is a golf swing, right? If you've ever picked up a golf club and tried to swing it without any practice, it's weird, right? Like you bounce the club, it's uncomfortable, right? But once you practice and then you maybe get some coaching, it actually is a great feeling when you make that contact and that sound.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to teach. I think real estate investing is a skill. I think we talked about it in video number 2. We're going to be doing this for a long time because once you have the skill, it's fun, right? It is literally playing the game of Monopoly in real life.
Absolutely.
And so that's what we're trying to do. And again, don't take your local bias. In the beginning, I don't give you permission to have 2. You can only have 1. Like, let's say, for example, you live in San Diego. You have no intention of investing in San Diego. My suggestion is you learn a buy box in San Diego, because what I'm trying to teach you is the skill. Once you have the skill of learning a market or having a golf swing, you can play anywhere you want. It is very, very hard, in my opinion, when you live in San Diego and you try to learn Hershey, Pennsylvania. You can do so much online, but then you got to get your butt on a plane and fly there and meet people and network and do all of that. And you're going to cut corners because the flight costs this and the flight does this. And it's just, so I actually don't mind. Like, I live in the Bay Area. I spent a year learning my local market, realizing it doesn't work. But then I took that skill right to Fresno and we had a deal in a month because everything I learned faster.
Yeah.
What do you think of all that?
Generally speaking, I agree. I think the closer you are to investing from home, the more deals you'll do because it's right there. You're driving by neighborhoods. You're noticing things that you wouldn't have noticed before, right? You've got some local connections. And so local is great. If you're in a market that your goal is cash flow, for example, and that San Diego is never going to cash flow, I would probably tell you something slightly different. I'd probably say, maybe don't get on a plane and have to fly real far, but maybe you expand your market 2 or 3 hours away where you can drive and you make a commitment that if I want cash flowing deals, I got to drive to Fresno, and Fresno is going to be the place that I can commit that I'm driving there once a month and I'm spending 2 days there and I'm looking at deals. I'm meeting with realtors or whatever.
That works. Agreed.
And do it as close to home as you can where it makes sense for your financial goals. And only if you have plenty of time and plenty of money and you're comfortable with investing from afar, only then do you go, let's make my buy box some other state that I know I'm fully committed to.
Yeah, I don't mind out-of-state investing. I think it works wonderful. I just don't think it's easiest to learn that skill.
Yes.
When you add that extra, because once you have the skill, then I think there's another layer of, okay, how do I build a team? How do I manage from afar? And I think if you mash all that together in step 1, it gets really, really messy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know investors who have picked up and moved to a market because they know this is the market that is primed for growth, lots of jobs, lots of people, lots of deals, more supply than there is, more demand than there is supply. And they've picked up their family and said, I'm moving there because I'm fully committed, right?
Yeah, that's commitment right there.
That's commitment, right? But yeah, the whole point is you want to become a local market expert and you want to be in markets where there's plenty of opportunity. If it's a market where there's not opportunity that's going to meet your goal, then you look at the closest market to you that's going to have that opportunity.
I love all of that. Then the next thing I would tell a newer investor, kind of getting him started, is do anything you can to get around other investors.
Yes.
Because again, one of the things I see around the holidays, besides people spending too much money, besides people getting unfocused, is they get around friends and family who have the best intention, but don't do real estate. and they're going to
Yeah.
be negative. How many negative conversations are we going to have this year? You need to get around positive people. And one of the just happy accidents is I created this Facebook group for people for FAQs. That's why I created. It has
Yeah.
morphed into this place with thousands of people doing the work, networking. They're forming small groups now. It is so fun to watch this happen, Anna. So, folks, if you're going to do this, don't do what I did the first 5 years and just try to live in your computer because I was on an airplane 6 days a week. Get to meet people, even if you do Zooms and do real estate meetups. If you can, get in the private Facebook groups of areas and get around people that are really doing it, because your friends and family, you got to audit your network, man. You got to audit your network these days.
Absolutely. Yeah. Real estate really is a team sport, and you can do it alone. And I did it alone for many, many, many years, right? But it's definitely harder when you're going it alone, especially in markets like today where things are rapidly changing, right? Lending is changing, pricing is changing, lots of things are changing. And so, you need to surround yourself with people that have done what you want to do, that have been through shifts in markets, that are malleable, that can say, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? Right? Just like video number 2, I'm buying a single family house from a developer. Why? How am I doing it? Normally I'm multifamily and I do some vacation rentals. But when you're surrounded by people who have been through these cycles and they can say, hey, here's ways that you can pivot. It's really important. It keeps you motivated when things are hard, number one. And in the beginning, it's going to feel hard. It's going to feel lonely. There's a saying, I think it was Jim Rohn, that said, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? If you're surrounded by people that know nothing about real estate, you're going to kind of lose that excitement. You're really going to, not be very efficient or effective. When you're around other people doing what you want to do, you fuel each other, you help each other, whether you partner or not, right? But real estate is all about 2 things all the time: finding deals and finding money, right? And then obviously staying focused on your why. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
But finding deals is just one of the parts. You've also got to be able to find money. And that money is multiple different things. One could be private lenders. It could be your bankers. It could be hard money lenders. It could be potential partners who are going to joint venture with you. Maybe you're out of money, they've got the money, and you've got the time and the excitement or the experience. So always be thinking about, who can I surround myself with that can provide me more deals and provide me more money in whatever form that takes. And so that requires you to be out there and to build a network in order to be most effective at meeting your financial goals by finding more deals and more money at all times.
There you go. Folks, again, real estate investing has clearly changed our lives. Go back in our playlists and watch. We both left our W-2s because of it. We're now helping people. And most importantly, you and I are taking action, right? When everybody else is leaving, we're like, okay, we'll come in. We got this, we built dry powder and now we're executing. So Anna, it's so much fun to watch. How can people follow you?
Great. You can find me on social media at Anna Kelly, REI Mom. My website for masterminds and coaching is reimom.com. And every week here on Wednesdays with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.